Welcome in, everybody. Appreciate you joining us for another interview here with Baldwin. Baldwin, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, Tibbers. How are you?
I am lovely. We also are joined by my good pal and partner in crime and beta tester for Mob Entertainment, SirSmirkz.
Hello, pleasure to be here.
So, before we start into these questions, Baldwin, if you just want to give like a quick introduction for those who haven't seen the previous interview on who you are and what you do.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Baldwin Williams Jr. I am a voice actor. I love animation, video games. I'm a big nerd. And I voice a bigger body Dog Day and in Poppy Playtime Chapter 3. And in Chapter 4, Dr. Harley Sawyer, also known as the Doctor.
Doctor Who?
Doc-
Sorry, I have to do it every time. I've been doing it to so many friends and they're getting pissed off at me about it. I just love it.
in tears.
So jumping right into the questions here, Baldwin, what aspects of Dr. Sawyer's personality or backstory did you find most intriguing, and how did they influence your performance in this chapter?
I would definitely say Tibbers, like the one aspect I found out that like he was part of the Young Geniuses program, and then for having it be the fact that like he was dismissed by Leith, was it?
No, it was sorry, Elliot. Elliot kicked him out.
Elliot Ludwig, right. Knowing that he definitely has several chips on his not shoulder, my bad. But he has a lot. He has a lot to prove, not only, I guess, not only to himself but to everyone else. I feel like I feel like he wants to be able to just be top dog, and how that translated to my performance. Of course, the standard cocky, cool, calm, collected. But as time goes on, you get to see some bit of the screws unloose.
Yeah. I remember that one tape that's in the maze with the body parts where he's waking up finally and you finally hear the glass crack as he is just screaming, and I'm just like, I was sitting over here watching this and just going, oh my god, we're getting some tea spilled right now.
Oh wait, not unloose. Sorry, I just realized screws loose. My bad.
It's ironic because he also has a metal robotic body that has screws in it.
Oh yeah. He's all the way screwed up.
Oh, we're gonna have fun with the puns today.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, just seeing that, how he wants to be able to, of course, have control, and of course, like, have it be that he doesn't really answer to no one. And then when they come across a player in chapter 4, they're like, oh, you're different. Let's test how you're different. I want to see what makes you tick. That very much influenced my performance. Cold, manipulative, and just very curious, really.
He is a man of science, after all.
That he is.
I'm going to jump over to the next question. Were there any particular challenges you faced while voicing Dr. Sawyer, especially in conveying that little sinister nature of his?
It's funny. The sinister nature was one of the easiest things to convey, but what I had a lot of the hurdle that I actually had was his loud moments, because I wanted to make sure that it sounded the same as before, at least on a vocal texture level. I can pinpoint two instances. The first instance being the VHS tape when he found himself, as a brain, as a security system for the warden and whatnot. And then second actually came due to his boss battle. So not many people, actually no one really, people who worked on the game know this, but outside of that, the lines that the doctor says during his boss battle, at the first take that we did for the session, he was actually screaming it.
Really?
Yes. And there was one line specifically that I have not forgotten that made me remember it. It was actually two lines. It was actually maybe even three, honestly. It was the Elite's machines are nothing to me. The childish fantasy of a naive, broken man. They won't serve you here. Nothing can. The second one being, I'll bury myself so far down that no one will ever find me. Not you, not the prototype, not anyone. And then the last line, because I remember this, because I made sure I put my all into this, because if this is a boss battle, I need to lock in. Rent gotta get paid. It was going to be mine. It was all going to be mine. My discovery, my recognition. I was the one who paved the golden path. That was a line that was shouted, and understand that the people in charge chose a different take. I was kind of looking forward to the more visceral take, but it is what it is. But I would definitely say that the more aggressive yelling lines that Sawyer has, that was mainly the challenge that I had to do for chapter 4. I'm just glad that, especially for the VHS tape, that you were able to hear that it panned out well.
It panned out very well. I'm actually kind of disappointed, and SirSmirkz will probably agree with me. They didn't include some of those lines of you yelling, because, I mean, and we'll talk more about the boss battles as we go through this interview, but like for me specifically, having a boss battle, and this is us fighting him at this point. This is the moment. He seemed too calm and cool and collected with those lines, and while they still work, I would have preferred to hear you with the yelling and stuff. Like, it would have been more impactful.
Man, I was like, if there's one line that could have gotten me an Emmy or an award, it was going to be that one, because I put my blood, sweat, tears, and grief into that line, bro.
I am incredibly disappointed to hear this. But see, the thing about Poppy Playtime, it's like, you portrayed DogDay in chapter 3. That was awesome for as long as DogDay was around.
Yeah.
But one thing that solidifies chapter 2 as one of my favorite chapters is Elsie Lovelock's, voice acting with Mommy Longlegs, conveying that pure aggression and anger. And like,
yeah,
when I heard the VHS of you as the doctor, like getting just blood, like boiling that leaf, and like, saying you're a dead man, like that, I was sold. It was like, you are literally one of my favorite parts of this chapter. So I wanted to hear more like blood curdling rage, and the fact that there was more, and then we got Mr. Monotone, calm and collected at the end. It's like, oh, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was still great. I loved your entire portrayal as Harley Sawyer, but like, hoot! I wanted more Mad Harley.
I no. First, thank you, and no, I get it, and I'm with you on that. And you know what? It's funny because there's an explanation, because I noticed it in the Brazilian dub. Because when I listened to the Brazilian dub and I listened to the Doctor's boss battle, when I listened to it, I was thrown off. Because I was thrown off because I heard him yelling. I'm like, huh? But he gets to yell? And I'm not gonna lie, I did get jealous, because I'm like, come on, I wanted to rip and tear too. So the one thing I did, because I asked the voice director, and I asked him, why was the Brazilian actor able to yell his lines, and for my lines it was quiet? Because I remember recording twice, and so when I recorded the lines of me yelling, they also recorded the Brazilian actor recording the lines yelling. Then later we had a second session, because overall we had about, I'd say, 6 sessions, 6 2-hour sessions. And so in the other session, in one of the sessions, we were able to record lines of him saying those lines calmer. Of course, I didn't believe that like they would use those lines because they were calmer. I thought they were more so use the the yelling lines. And so basically, because the director told me that they ran out of time to record the Brazilian actor saying those lines calmly instead of the yelling thing. They only did the yelling thing, I guess, to like match what was there at the time. So, yeah, because I was kind of like I kind of want to know like what was the reasoning, you know? But there's a theory. I won't get into it now. I mean, of course, like throughout the course of the interview when we discuss it later. But a friend of mine, Blue Rivers on Twitter, they actually had a theory in regards to why Harley was so calm. But we'll discuss that soon.
So, how closely did you work with the game's writers and directors to ensure your portrayal of Dr. Sawyer aligned with their vision?
Very close. Eric True, he was with me and the voice director and the audio engineer when it came to, I believe, pretty much all the sessions, if I remember correctly. He was very involved in the process, and I appreciate Eric because he let me try different things and different tones and deliveries, and luckily he was able to say, like, you know, if he wanted me to try something again, or if I say it one way as a test thing, he's like, hey, do what you did before. And he was just a delight to work with, along with the audio engineer and the voice director. It was very fun working with the writers and Eric, and I'm just glad that he was able to be there and help direct me to make sure like my performance hits the nails that it's supposed to hit.
Well, I think personally, I think you nailed it.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. I'm glad, because I was legitimately praying. I'm like, God, please. I just hope that my performance is received well, you know, because like I never go into these things thinking, oh yeah, I did that. I just go like, well, I did my best. That's all that I could expect out of me. I've done everything I can to make sure that like whatever performance I give, I'm able to stand 10 toes by it. I'm like, oh, I could have done things better. And of course, like I still have that like little voice in my head, but I'm like, no, I did everything that I could to make sure that I give the best performance possible.
I mean, as a tester, I had the game like to test it and all that. I was introduced to your performance as Harley, earlier than most people, right? But like, I had a feeling like you were gonna totally like it'd be totally fine. Like people are gonna love the Doctor as soon as I heard your voice throughout the chapter and all the. We didn't get everything right because
Right.
it's a work in progress kind of thing. But like I as soon as we got most of what was provided, it was like it was so cool. It was so nice to hear the Doctor personally talk to the player as opposed to all the VHS like in terms of how he would react, and like you portrayed him like to a T to the fullest, like with what you were given to work with. I honestly, one of my biggest criticisms about Chapter 4 is that there wasn't more of you.
Thank you. I wish there was more of the Doctor too. I wish, because that trailer, what was it? It was the Doctor cinematic trailer, and then the gameplay trailer with that one shot with him and all the robots. I was thinking, oh, this is gonna be something. And then, yes, thank you, man. Thank you.
No, of course it's. I'm so happy I get to be here thanks to Riz, because I saw you on Twitter, just praying that you did a good job. I'm like, you already did a good job, but I can't see that. It's like you did awesome. And it's like you ain't got nothing to worry about. You're all good. That was badass. Yeah, no, it was really cool. So jumping off of that, what reactions have you received from players regarding your portrayal of Dr. Sawyer? Like anything really stick out or any memorable feedback?
Lots and lots of thirst.
No.
It's hilarious being on the other end, because I've always seen people go after the infamous Tumblr sexy men and everything and whatnot, and the fact that I voice now a Tumblr sexy man, and everything and whatnot, and then see people's reactions like, oh, his voice, and hear me out, chat, and I'm just like, hey, yo, they're simping over a braid. That's crazy. And a lot of people have been, just like, I wish we saw more. I wish we saw more. And I'm hoping, like, Mob, please, I don't know, a digital copy or something, please, bring
Mob,
me back.
you know what Borderlands is, right, Mob? I hope you do. Bring it back. Rewrite the script. Oh, look, a
Man,
plot hole. Use it.
listen, I know, because I'm I'm telling, yeah, because when we get to that portion, because that theory by my friend Blue Rivers, again, because the more I think about it, I'm like, she's on to something. But to go back to the reactions, it's been so funny because when Dog Day came out for chapter 3, I not moderately, but like, kind of did like the, hey, hey, hope you're enjoying chapter 3, but I didn't say why, because I was a bit nervous, because I didn't want to be the fact that, like, like I'm going around or being a glory hound or whatnot. But then I have to get out of my own head. I'm like, hey, it's okay to, because my friends beyond me for this, they say, please, because, for example, Tibbers, the first interview that you did with me, because my friends found out, like, through some other memes or whatever, it's like, I think a retweet, they messaged me, called me saying, bro, why didn't you tell me you were interviewed? I'm like, I'm sorry, like, bro, tell us when you do stuff. And I'm just like, okay, and it's like, you can talk about things that you did, because the things you do are cool. I'm like, you're right, all right, I'll do it. So like, now for when chapter 4 released, I kept on, like, hopping into like random streams, and I was just like, hi there, my name is Baldwin, I voiced the Doctor in chapter 4, hope you're enjoying the game. And some people, because I remember, I think there's a young lady that I into whose stream I hopped into, because when she saw my message, she was like, what? Nah, because, and I understand that there are trolls out there, so I understood her skepticism, and that's like, I check the credits. My name is Baldwin. I guarantee you, no cap. And it's funny, like live on stream, she Googled my name and everything, and saw my picture, and she's like, "That's you?" I'm like, "Yep." And you can find me on all platforms at Baldwin Voices and everything. And we had like a small interview, like a mini interview via text on Twitch, and it was just fun. And people have just been so kind, and just like, just saying like, I love your performance, I wish we saw more, and like your voice just scratches an itch in my brain. And I'm just like, thank you, man. I'm glad you like it, man. But it's been very warm, very receptive, and I'm just grateful. I really am, because even for, like, was it chapter 3, and now for this, because when my friend says like, bro, you're the highlight for both chapters, bro, how do you feel? I'm just like, grateful. Because and like, and y'all, when I say that, because this is one of the favorite things that's happened with chapter 4's release, and I know it's most likely the case that happened within chapter 3, but at least from what I see in chapter 4, someone did an impression of me. To me, that's crazy, because I always used to do impressions of like other actors, like Mark Hamill, Kevin Michael Richardson, and whoever whatnot, and I always, like, one day, like, of course, like, I'll be able to have a role, and I'll be able to own that role. And now someone, I forgot the guy's name, but he basically did an impression of Dr. Sawyer, and I'm just like, wow. And like, I love that. And the reason why I say that, because I remember with chapter 3 came out, someone made like an AI replica of my voice. And I'm just like, bro, you could have just done an impression, like, imitation in the form of flattery. Come on. But when this other gentleman, when he did the Harley Sawyer impression, I was like, yo, if I wasn't listening, like, if I wasn't listening intently, if I was just, hearing it, and I was like, wait, that sounds like me, because he got a lot of, like, my intonations and my vocal ticks down. I'm just like, oh, this guy studied. You know, and it's I'm flattered really. I'm just grateful overall that my performance has been received well. I find it hilarious with the thirst tweets and everything and whatnot. And yes, if again to the person watching this who may have made a Harley Sawyer thirst tweet, just because I didn't respond did not mean I did not see it. So beware. Ah, oh gosh, but no, it's been a treat. It's been an absolute treat.
That's good to hear. I remember I was helping my friend Bolts through the chapter, and I remember you popping into his stream, and I was like, "Wait, hold on, Bolts. I need you to pause the game. Look at your chat. You've got Dr. Sawyer in your chat right now," and he was freaking out and just so thankful. And I actually, before we started this interview, was helping him finish the second half of the game before I had to leave and come over here. And he wanted me to pass along to you that he would love to hear you play the Joker. He wants that. And I was like, you're not the first person who has said that, like, because I also have said that and I want to see that for you. So we're manifesting this.
You know, one day Gotham City will see Uncle Jay. Maybe one day, if the Batman doesn't butt his pointy nose into my stuff. All right, I'm sorry.
That's
I
so
had to get that
good.
out. I had to get that out. I had to, because literally when he said like the Joker, I'm just like, yes, come on, Baldwin. You know you want to do it. You practiced for years. I would love that. Shout out to Mark Hamill, my favorite Joker. Shout out to Mark Hamill.
But no, it's super fun. I can't do Sawyer's voice justice at all, but he does have some of the most memorable lines that I enjoy quoting. Like if I feel a scratch and I start scratching, I just immediately start going, "Do I feel something squirming its way beneath my skin?"
Really?
Yeah, but the thing is, I being autistic, I pick up like lines and just will quote them randomly. Like one of my favorite lines is from chapter 2, and it was when I interviewed Avalon Delaney, who does the voice of Candy Cat in one of the cutouts. And it was so funny because we're like, this is our favorite line from all the games, and it's them going, "Feed me candy, num 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 num," and I'm like, I just say that when I'm in the kitchen cooking.
That's hilarious.
So I love memorable lines that I can just quote, even if I do not do good impressions of whoever the voice actor is portraying them at all. Like, there's just some really good ones that have, especially from this chapter, have come out.
Yeah, no, a lot of the lines they were cooking. They were cooking, especially for Sawyer. I think it was no, this was from I think it was like Project Playtime chapter, not chapter, phase 2.
Yep.
It was like the mortality is the curse of the weak. And I'm just like,
Yes.
wow. Who was cooking? But yeah, no, chapter 4 had a lot of quotes because what was it? It was like there's no places you can hide, not from me. And it's just like that was cold. That was cold.
Mm-hmm.
That was cold. And I'm just glad because the one thing that I was shook. I mean, of course, I've seen this for other games, but multiple people did like compilations of Sawyer's lines throughout the games and put them into like one video, and I'm just like, wow, I'm watching myself do these lines, and I remember just like in my mind, I was just like, hoping this goes well, and then people are like, I love his voice, and I'm just like, success.
Speaking of lines or scene from Dr. Sawyer, which one of them resonated with you personally? And if so, why?
I would have to say the Warden Office VHS tape and the Simon Smoke experiment. Because when I was recording the lines, I had two inspirations when it came to how Sawyer should I mean, of course, like operate, but like vocal, I guess you could say vocal tics. Corey Burton, he voiced Professor Hugo Strange and Batman Arkham City, and I forgot the voice actor's name. Give me 1 second, because he voiced Scarecrow. John Noble. John Noble voiced Scarecrow in Batman Arkham Knight. So when it came to the VHS tape, I was thinking, okay, I want to channel both of those things. And it was like more so like the menacing. It was just like the, like, yes, I hear it. They've staged quite the rebellion. Remarkable 1006. And the warden's like, how could this happen? There are fail-safes. How like, it's impossible. And it's just like, Warden, personal agendas have long been the downfall of this company. Is it really unbelievable for them to have backstabbers, you know? And just the doctor just having it be the fact that, like, you know, essentially, like, but just basically the bargains, just like the, you need help, you know, shake my hand. Come on. Shake, like, and like just having be that the warden has to, like, you know, give up this important piece. And I'm not like, I don't recall, but did the warden ever make it out there alive?
We don't know.
Everyone has come to the assumption that Harley most likely betrayed and murdered him.
Right, because I was assuming the same. I was definitely assuming the same. But I really like those slide, like, kind of like Scar type things from Lion King. It's just like maybe I can open some doors, close others, you know? You just have to trust me. And then especially like when it came to his final line, that VHS tape was like, of course, you made a smart decision, Warden. I promise I'll get you out of here safe and sound. And it's just like, that man did not live to see the next hour.
Absolutely did not. As much as I love Harley Sawyer, I would not even trust him to change the light bulb in my Easy Bake Oven.
Nothing. And I would definitely say that VHS tape when he was like livid at Dr. White and Leith Pierre, that man was livid.
Dr. White, is that you?
White, is that you? And it's like and then he just like goes off because it's just like who gave you the order?
It literally was just thinking that.
And then there's actually like, and there's a specific reason why I mean, of course, like, yes, Harley being able to go off and just like really rip into Leith and Dr. White, but the reason why I really like that VHS tape specifically, because there's a line that is referenced. There's a line that's referenced when it comes to the prototype, and you know, there's a secret. This is this is like log 24459 in chapter 3 of Poppy Playtime. It goes like, there's a secret inside of you, 1006, valuable beyond all measure. I cut and prod and burn at it, and I get closer with each session. So speak or don't, fight or give in. Regardless, I learn something new about you every day. It excites me. And the reason why, because within that, so when Leith is talking to Sawyer, because he references the very same line that that Sawyer said to the prototype. And that's what really inspired the anger of like you will die for this, Leith. And like, when I get my hands on you, you're a dead man. Like that was like, because when reading as a character, I'm like, he's been watching everything. I know he's been watching everything, but he's been paying attention. And the fact of the matter is that you use my own words against me that I've said to my own creation. Oh yeah, Leith Pierre, I got my eye on you. Like that ripping, that visceral anger. That I love that we were able to see that side of the Doctor. He's not always as cold and composed and, you know, giving all these, you know, speeches and everything, but we get to see an even darker side.
I just really want to sit down and write a script now between Harley and Leith, and just pull you and Robin into a call together and just be like,
you know what's funny?
Let's do it.
I had that idea literally last night because I saw his video as Leith Pierre, thanking everyone. I was like, bruh, I would love to have like some type of like improvise or just scripted dialogue with him because it'd just be funny. It'd just be fun, really.
Something to think about in the future.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, Safe Haven introduces players to a new section of the factory with a tense and eerie atmosphere. How did you use your voice to enhance that horror and suspense of Dr. Harley Sawyer's presence in this chapter?
I would definitely say because from when I compared to like when I first voiced Harley Sawyer in Project Playtime in the VHS tape, it was something I wanted to make sure I improved on my performance, and then, like, of course, again, not every actor is able to, nail everything the first serve, because even watching, even certain, like, for example, Chowder, like, not everyone is, stepping to the shoes of these characters, and of course over time they're able to refine and flesh it out more. I know I wanted to do the same thing for Harley, so I just wanted to make sure that like I had more, because of course like Harley's a yapper, certified yapper, the top one in off Playtime Co. Top one, number one yapper. I wanted to make sure that like I took my time and just being able to just like really drop my voice and more so have like the, oh yeah, it was Playtime Co. You believe that this was built by Leith Pierre or the CEO? No, I built it, and I watch over you, player, and because of you entering my domain, I will be watching you. Like a lot of more dark and gritty, but also like more so like a playfulness. Just been like, oh, Yanabe, and just be seeing like how the player interacts with the other characters, and just like again my inspirations of Corey Burton as Professor Hugo Strange in Batman Arkham City, and John Noble as Scarecrow in Batman Arkham City. I mean, not Batman Arkham City, Batman Arkham Knight. Those inspirations kind of made me like lean heavy into the horror aspect and just making sure that like the creep factor is at an 11, you know?
Well, I can say you definitely did that. It's just every line you delivered, I think, had that suspense, that kind of like dread that everyone felt when they were playing the chapter for the first time. Like they didn't know what to expect, and just right off the bat, we walk into that little room on the train, and the TV turns on, and we just hear you start talking, and the train stops, and you just throw us around. I was like, well, this is how we know this chapter is going to go.
Thank you.
You did just mention Yarnaby, and then it brought me back to one of my biggest questions about chapter 4. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, were there other voice lines where Harley Sawyer like didn't just acknowledge the player for the most thing, but acknowledge Yarnaby?
I remember, because I remember the name Yarnaby, and I remember at least I had like one line, like, I thought Yarnaby was the only pet I had. And
Oh yeah.
I don't remember any other lines for that specifically. I mean, other for Yarnaby, but like I know that like Sawyer had pride in Yarnaby, a lot of pride in him.
Yeah, because I'm questioning it because it's like, I'm again, you've been browsing the yard. We've all seen the yard, but like a lot of people love that whole like that headcanon relationship of like, yeah, owner and pet, and Yarnaby and Doctor, like, depicted in a lot in those
Yeah.
situations. I kind of wanted to see more of that. So I was just wondering, is like, were there more lines, like, because you go through the chapter and like Doctor only references Yarnaby like twice when you get rid of him and when you introduce him. Like, but why?
Because at least for me, like there might be more lines, but at least from the lines given to me, that's all I like. What you hear is what I received. The one thing I will say, because there was an interview, I'm trying to remember exactly, because the former director for Poppy Playtime, because I remember he said something interesting. He said that how everything went with Yarnaby and Dr. Sawyer, at least when it comes to like, how they end up in the story, it was different than how it was executed. So I'm wondering if like, there could have been more lines,
Because I
because
was
he
gonna
made
say,
this on Twitter.
yeah, I think it would have been an interesting like aspect for you as Harley to take on. Like also being cold and cynical and calculated, but like showing like pride in like one of his creations. Because I don't think that's one thing that we got to see Harley really convey is like just pride in anything other than the prototype.
Mm,
In that that 1v1 conversation between the two, but it's like he kind of just writes all the others off. So I thought like, Yarnaby gets introduced and maybe, he starts mocking us as we're struggling against, a giant lion toy or whatever, but like
yeah,
just
yeah,
food
no,
for thought.
yeah, no, and I agree because in the Doctor cinematic trailer, when Harley was waking up, he said, "My creations." He takes pride in each and every one of them, from Huggy Wuggy, Boxy Boo, the prototype, Yarnaby. He definitely does take pride in it. He definitely does. I do wish we saw more Yarnaby because the fan art has been immaculate.
It definitely has. Were there any particular scenes in chapter 4 that stood out to you as especially challenging or exciting to record? And can you walk us through your approach to those moments?
I would definitely say the one thing that I was excited for, though I understand things change, it was with the Simon Smoke section where when you have the option to kill the toy, or if you're able to find another way out. I was excited to record that line, because at least at that time it was explained differently. Because if I remember correctly, this was the critter wasn't in a tube, but the critter was on an operating table. And how it was explained to me, I was thinking, oh, I gotta be evil for this interaction. So and so, like, of course, like for me, I try to make sure that, like, of course I'm hydrated because, again, water is essential,
Mhm.
but also having it be the fact that, like, I pay attention to, like, what the doctor is trying to prove is just like everyone at Playtime Co is evil, point blank, period. Whether it be the fact that they've been involved in the Bigger Bodies initiative, or even to the fact that they were a security guard or whatever, they're all complicit in this. In this, and of course, we're doing this for progress. We're doing this for advancement of humanity. And when it came to that interaction with the player, to have Sawyer, set up this a quote unquote impossible situation when it's not actually impossible. I really had to dig deep in terms of like kind of like a Scarecrow Ultron type hybrid. And just like the Poppy would do it, the British glob of clay would do it. That it would be their choice. Now it's for yours. Like, very much leaning into the cold, calculating, maniacal villainy of Sawyer, because that's what he is really, and being able to convey that aura. It was fun to do because I always imagined like voicing a villainous character, and now the opportunity comes in, and it's like, it's time to lock in, and yeah.
I was really hoping, since you're talking about that specific scene, that there would have been a morality aspect to it as well that affected
Mhm.
the gameplay. Because I mean, if players don't know, because sometimes gamers just they don't look up. There's an alternate option. You don't have to kill Simon. You can either just take the grab handle and go up and escape the room, or you can take him out. Depends on your personal preference. But I was somewhat disappointed that there was not a consequence on whether you let them live or let them die.
No, what could have been interesting? Have voice lines because like again, the one thing I've noticed, I don't think a lot of people who've played the game, at least people who aren't like in the fandom, because they think they're just toys, not actual human beings in the toys,
Mm-hmm.
So, and kind of like I'm taking a page out of It Takes Two, because there is a boss battle. Well, not a boss battle, but my goodness, because I played it recently. It's basically you have. This is gonna sound terrible. You have to kill a plush toy elephant.
I know what you're talking about.
I cried
Oh
so
my
much.
gosh. Oh, because like I remember playing it years ago, and I played it like last like in not January, in December, or actually no, it may have been January of this year, and I was replaying it, and I'm like, oh gosh, I feel horrible. I feel like if there was like an aspect of that, like for voice lines for the little toy, and especially say for example if honestly this would be very very it actually would tie into it, because I saw like gameplay, well, unused assets for gameplay that YouTubers have found, and apparently there's supposed to be a side quest, the side missions available for chapter 4, but for whatever reason they scrapped it. And I was thinking, what if Sawyer kidnapped one of the toys that you interacted with in Safe Haven, and then that toy that you've interacted with is now in the tube? I feel like it would be more conflicting, and people would feel very torn about that. You know?
I definitely would have cared more. I'm gonna be honest. I I like either left immediately, or I think the first time I actually just pulled the plug, I was like, oh, it's just another Simon. They jumped me at the beginning of the chapter. Yeah, I'm taking out one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's one of my biggest gripes with the chapter. It's like little details like that would definitely just have such a bigger impact overall on those small but very thought-provoking moments. And it's like it went in there again. It's just, I didn't personally. It's maybe some other people found it a little bit more sentimental, but like if we were definitely given something that we cared about, or if we had side quests, interacted with these toys that are either starving or just completely innocent, don't want to give into the prototype's demands, just want to live their days. And had we got to like have some sentimental memory making moments with them, and Harley took that and kind of like used it against us, that definitely would have been so much more like thought provoking. Then in that specific moment in the game, like you're actually pressed for time too, because you have the rest of the critters ready to ambush you and break down that glass door. So, you got to put feelings and your feelings aside, or maybe you put them in front. It's like your thoughts are all over the place. But like when you just don't care about SirSmirkz just sitting there, like all the other ones that jumped you, it's like, whatever.
Yeah,
It definitely would have been so cool though.
definitely. I pray that Mob has enough time to be able to just like have do everything that they want to.
Yeah. I've been, I know on occasion, it started saying this more often when Chapter 3 came out, and like everyone discovered that there was the duck ride that got taken. I was like, maybe Mob, when all is said and done and the story has been told, maybe go back and like make a Poppy Playtime definitive edition, like where they include all the unreleased stuff. Give us more to play or experience. Maybe add more voice lines, more of the stuff that, because I keep saying this too. It's like you only get to tell this story once, really.
True.
But you should be doing it to the best of your ability. But if worst case scenario, make a definitive edition. Make us all have a reason to go back. Because I want more Harley. I want more Dog Day. I want more mommy long. I want everyone. I want more of everyone. Everyone's so awesome.
Yeah, I hope Dog Day comes back.
A
I
lot of
really do.
a lot of people were, I think, at least right now, they are head over heels at the fact that they were able to hear bigger body Hoppy Hopscotch,
Yeah.
which I mean, we knew this in chapter 3, but everyone thinks they're alive, they're dead. It was cool we got to hear their voice, but like a little fun fact, if you inspect one of the notes, I don't know which one it is. It says lost Hoppy today. Something something something. But just bringing that up because it's like I want an excuse to see all the bigger bodies. Like, can we see Dog Day walking around one day, please? Especially when we discover the safe haven, and then we find out that Dog Day was one of the main heads over there, keeping everyone safe. It's like, I want to see this Poppy Playtime. Where is it?
Same.
Man, you know what? Side note. Overall, I would love to see more of not the sliding critters, the smiling critters, and the nightmare critters, and not in the indie horror type of way. Because in the back of my mind, and Tibbers, I think I said this to you in the first interview. I would love to see like in the vein of like a Mario and Luigi or just like a platformer type thing. Mario Luigi RPG, like a Smiling Critters RPG or like a platformer, because these characters are gold,
I'd buy that spin off in a heartbeat.
man. Because someone, hold on, because there was someone on Twitter, I forgot their name. I think because they basically made like an AU, of course, like we've all seen AUs, but they made it. Let's see, Sweet Scully 5. They also go by Scully. They made a Smiling Critter. It's called Smiling Critter 64, and it was basically a 3D and 2D side-scrolling platformer. You'll be playing as Dog Day and his little helper slash buddy Pelly Propeller, as you get to have an amazing experience of what those charms that the Smiling Critters have, what they do, uh, going across 8 wacky worlds once the player restores their charms and rescues the rest of the Smiling Critter crew. And there's art that Scully did, and I'm just like, I buy this. We need this. We need more Smiling Critters. I know I'm biased. I am. I just there's a lot of love in in the art that they made, and I just hope Mob is watching. I hope Mob is listening. But yeah, I would very much love to see. I mean, of course, I know indie horror. That's cool. Because like I know I have some friends. Because like someone that I know. Because when she saw the designs, and of course when she saw the AU with Smiling Critter 64, she was like, I don't play indie horror, but I would play that game in a heartbeat. I'm just like, come on, come on, come on, come on. Plus, like I feel like, yeah, we need new platformers. We really do. That's just my thing. Like,
Oh,
we need more
absolutely.
platformers.
Agreed.
We need more platformers. Like Sonic and Mario and Crash, those are nice. I'm grateful for the OGs. We just need a new generation of like characters, and I feel like the Smiling Critters are that, because everyone loved them in Chapter 3, and it's just like gold. It's right there. All you need to do is make a platformer, and you're cooking. Make it fun, and that's it.
That's what we've been trying to tell them about Project Playtime, but it could work. It really could.
It can. It
Especially
can.
because people are so scared to make platformers nowadays. But if you put enough love and passion to them, really build up a world, really build up the gameplay at the same time, bam.
Because there's a reason why Mario is Mario. Sonic, Spyro, Crash. They've all been on each other's consoles at one point or another. Except Mario. Mario is always on Nintendo consoles and will forever be on Nintendo consoles. I guarantee you, the day that Mario is on PlayStation or Xbox, I'm pretty sure the world is gonna combust.
Yeah.
Like, at signs of the end of the world, that.
I think that was also why I was super excited when I played Indigo Park for the first time, that they had a small platformer game that you could play, mini game that's in the game itself. And I kind of want them to actually make that into a game as well.
This is one of the small reasons why I really still love FNAF. It really is. It's because they take those risks of those small spin-offs that you get to play. It's such a, it helps you expand into different kinds of games because like these devs usually like, oh, we don't know where to go after our mascot horrors, like, or, our indie horror game is done. It's like, there you go. No one said you had to stop using the characters that you made. They just want a different kind of game. There you go.
Yep.
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 That's
Yep.
why Into the Pit
And-
is so good.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Oh, so good.
We just need more. We just need. This is my. I get it that companies need to make money and everything and whatnot, and companies are made of people and everything, what have you. I get that. I do. With that said, we need people to start making games for the love of the craft instead of making it for money. I know that's an obvious thing, but I feel like it's understated. And that's why, we have the Concords of the world or multiverses of the world, which
Oh boy.
side note, this will all say, not side note, this will all say on multiverses. You can't have a library of the most iconic characters in all of fiction for a Smash Brothers clone, only for it to fumble. Makes no sense, but I digress.
Yeah,
Hold
SirSmirkz and I
off
had a
on the
whole
micro.
conversation about that.
Oh, I'm still fuming. I never get my full Adventure Time cast.
And I'm not gonna put Daffy Duck. Anyways.
Games for the love of the craft. Preaching to the choir. I completely agree.
I feel like because I'm looking back at like everything that like happened, not happened, but like say for example like the early 2000s, like late 90 the 90s and the early to mid 2000s. There's been so much focus on whatever you spend, like a bang for your buck. Nowadays it's just mid. Like I remember being able to get a cereal box, and then in that cereal box I got a DVD of Cartoon Network cartoons, like a compilation of them, like maybe like an hour's worth of content or 2 hours worth of content, whatever, whatnot. Music videos, episodes, and from different shows. And now it's just like, here's your cereal, and here's a QR code, and a QR code to get an NFT. I just want. We're losing the recipes. Like we're losing recipes. Yeah, that's another conversation for another day because I could go on. But yes.
No, those were the good times, though. I remember getting my first PlayStation 1, and it had the demo disc in there with all these different games on it, like Earthworm Jim, Tomba was on there. I know they had the first Spyro game on there, Jersey Devil, and these are all games that were phenomenal. I played this demo disc was the reason that we bought them, and I kind of wish that we got that kind of stuff still. Like Steam would package together a bunch of indie horror demos that you can download and test them out, because struggled to find the time to actually do the research to find games to play.
Yeah. It's rare to, at least for me, it's rare to stumble onto games that I would like. I would either see games that I would have reviewed by like people that I follow on YouTube, or just like personal recommendation,
Yeah.
Yeah. But I will say this. The people who grew up like us, that grew up during those times, I now see that like we're able to do more than what was able to back then. Like for example, if someone can make a video game, but they all don't even need to be in the same time zone or country. Like everyone can collaborate. We are we're more digitally connected more than ever, and like I understand that, like, certain things, like for example the economy and everything and whatnot is, the economy, but I do feel like that's where, even within the small things, art can thrive in all aspects, games included.
Harley sure knows a lot about being digitally connected, that's for sure.
Yes, he does.
No, but completely agree with that. That's why it's so nice to see so many success stories when it comes to just indie games in general. People just making these games out of pure passion, just wanting to see games that these bigger companies aren't going out of their way to make because they don't believe in them, or will, believe that they will make a profit immediately without, having to worry about like, oh, is this a risk we're taking or should we even bother? It's like,
Make the game. Like,
yeah.
don't focus on who's going to make money. Because, like, again, I'm always going to say this. Like, when I even say this, Concord, I still can't believe with Concord. Like, the game didn't even last, like, a month, if I'm correct.
It died very. Actually, yeah, no, I think it was pretty much a month.
Yeah, it was about a month.
Because people were squirming to get the achievements, like, before the servers went off, and it was very soon after the game actually went out, and all those YouTube channels were covering, being like, "This sucks. Like the gameplay's alright, but like everything else sucks." Moral story: make games to make games, not make games to make with only the sole focus of money.
Because if it's quality, money will always come through. Again, Mario. It's a simple thing, but from New Super Mario Brothers to New Super Mario Brothers Wii U, actually to New Super Mario Brothers Deluxe on the Switch, they were able to make games based off that and along with other spin-offs, just because of like the standard of that they set. What a world.
Yep. All right, back to the questions. I like that conversation though. Without giving too much away, how do you think the Doctor Harley Sawyer's role in Chapter 4 changes the way players experience the story of Poppy Playtime?
I would say that it changes, at least from what I've seen, it's been a lot more direct. I mean, of course, we've had characters that talk to the player, but this is someone who has seen the rise and fall of the company, has also assisted in that. And of course, like, we don't know who the player is. I know there are theories, like, an old employee and whatnot, and especially with the Y. But like now, Sawyer is very much going towards a player and asking like direct questions, like, why are you here? Why did you come back? Who did you hope to save in your efforts being back here? And it's just like, it's more so of like a more personal threat, if that makes sense.
Absolutely makes sense. And it's even more interesting when you think about it, because even Harley says, what even brought you back here? Some vague old letter. So he even knew that we got sent a letter and that's why we're here.
Yeah, no, he because as diabolical as he is, because even within the story so far, he never lies, at least from what I remember. He's been very upfront and direct about who he is and what he's here to do.
Except if you're the warden.
Maybe.
That too, maybe. I had a thought just now. What if it was like, Harley's like, oh yeah, no, okay, you can go, Warden. And then the prototype's like, lunch. And then it'd just be like, yeah, I try to be a man of my word. I do it for science. And you just ate him. Well done, 1006. Ugh.
And the Harley just also goes, and this is how we get ants.
Oh, man.
After our previous interview, we found out that Harley Sawyer does not like pickles, sadly. How does this make you feel?
Distraught. Because now my pickle head cannon is shattered like the jar. Nah, but I guess my only question to Harley would be like, okay, so is it like do you like don't like pickles at all, or just like come on, bro. You're missing out on pickles. Like if it's the bread and butter ones, I can understand that. That can only go for certain meals. Now, if it's like the dill pickles, I listen, bro. Listen, bro. Come on, come on, Doc. Oh well. I would say I hope he changes his mind, but we all know that's not possible.
Yeah, he
Harley,
feels
how
like
do you
he's-
feel about relish?
it's just literally the same as sweet pickles. But no, it was really cool to see the amount of fans that actually thought that little bit that was in the last interview was funny and they enjoyed it. And even though some of them were just like, I remember getting a message afterwards after it aired, and someone was like, "You realize that he hated pickles, right?" And I'm like, "Yes, I know that now." But still, let us have this moment. And we even got that really cool animation. And thank you, SirSmirkz, for finding that and sending it to me yesterday, because that made me so happy.
It made my day.
I was just scrolling through the fan art and I'm like, I saw like the little prompt in the thumbnail for the video because they just uploaded the whole thing in the server. I was like, uh, so I drew this while I was watching the an interview between Baldwin and Harley Sawyer. I was like, wait, what? I only know about one interview. Hold up. I started watching and I was like, oh, someone actually animated this. It's like, I have to.
It was so good. Eclipse, if you're listening, thanks again for that. We really appreciate it. I'll leave a link in the description below so you can go watch it yourselves.
Thank you, Eclipse.
So this next question is a huge spoiler for chapter 4, and we've kind of already touched on it, but I want to go back to it. So audience, you've been warned. We've discovered through a VHS tape that Leith Pierre, Stella Graber, and Eddie Ritterman all agreed that Harley needed to be dealt with, and ultimately Leith Pierre gave the word for the special projects team to basically rip Harley's body apart and place it into different pieces of machinery while hooking his brain up to their infrastructure. This big revelation was a shock to the Poppy Playtime community because many theorists, including myself, assumed that this was something Harley did to himself with the prototype's assistance. Tell me, what are your thoughts about it, and what was your reaction when you found out?
Well, my reaction, I was shocked because I remember in Project Playtime, what was it, season 2? I remember his line saying, mortality is the curse of the weak, the fire that incinerates the flesh. He basically said that he wants to escape, mortality. And, seeing the Doctor trailer and whatnot, I'm thinking, oh, okay, this guy is, he was able to make his dream come true. Only for it to be, it wasn't by his own making or his own hands. I'm like, oh. And finding out that, like, again, Pierre, Graber, and Ritterman, they all, connived against Harley. Like, again, you reap what you sow. So it makes sense. So, like, now having it be the fact that, like, he's in that system, I'm just like, because the only question I'm just like, I have, and I feel like his hubris may have gotten him in that situation, not just, because of what he's done, but more specifically, because someone had to catch him lacking, and I'm just like, as big brained as you are, Harley, you didn't see this coming, really, honestly. But then again, hubris.
Exactly. You shouldn't have eaten that spiked pickle.
Truly.
Oh, the
Maybe
didn't like them.
It's funny, it's just like, because maybe that's the like, I may try this pickle. I hate it, but maybe this one will be different. Why am I in a jar?
I have become the pickle.
If I know one thing for sure, Harley, old boy, you truly are in the pickle.
That's awesome. As much as we'd want to change the pickle thing, is there anything that you could add or change to Harley's role in Chapter 4? And if so, what would it be?
I would have loved to see if those bots that he had, I forgot, because there was this one person who made, instead of he gave the minion bots, Sarly Hoyer bots as a nickname. I would love for those bots to stalk around the prison as, like guards and whatnot.
Oh, that would have been so creepy.
And with Harley able to like project his consciousness like against like multiple of the guards and just because like say for example if the player destroys one and just be like nice job, you did a very very good job destroying that one, but I can assure you there's another one coming and another one after that and another one after that. My eye is on you, you will not escape, like stuff like that. And maybe have some jump scares. Just be like, good to know that your reflexes are sharp. Good, good. Good to know for my research. Something like that,
I would have accepted a jump scare like that any day.
That and I would I wish instead of a tube it was an operating table. But I don't know how for the Simon Smoke thing. I would have loved for it to be like an operating table. That way, that like maybe like you actually see some of the like. I'm not a horror or gore person, but like if we're really dialing in, if we're seeing dead bodies and everything, and flashes of like blood and guts and everything in the Doctor cinematic trailer, I would have shown a little bit something more. Maybe of course the player has to plug in something, and then we see the critter, scream and everything. I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit too dark, but yeah.
No, I don't think it's too dark. I would have loved to have seen them go that ham.
I mean,
yeah.
Chapter 4 stakes are high. We gotta take this seriously. So I agree. I think that definitely would have fit.
Yeah.
Even though, part of me is still like, oh, we finally got all these robots. Harley could have had their chorus line musical moment.
That would have been hilarious.
It would have been.
He's an evil genius. He's got to get bored sometimes.
He has to.
Now, a lot of fans were disappointed in Doctor's overall boss fight. If you've seen it, what are your thoughts?
I have seen it. Again, like when I mentioned it before, I was really hoping the screaming lines would have been in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope that. Because like it would have like to have it be like, oh, this guy is calm and everything, and then only for him to lose his absolutely loving mind, that would have bring more punch to it. And the sad part, when you defeat the Doctor, and then of course when the robots are chasing you, before the EMP blast goes off, I'm sad that when it came out that like there wasn't really a moment for the player to, I guess, soak in the like that whole instant, because like I got what the devs were trying to do. I did, because I've seen a lot of people run away from the robots and go up the staircase, and they don't even hear the last line of Harley. I'm just like, dang. I understand that they've made a patch and fixed it, which I'm glad. I just see that like a lot of people went to it. And like I mean, of course, like they played it when it first came out, but then I know not a lot of people are gonna replay it for that, if that makes sense. Because and I understand for some people they play the chapter as soon as it comes out and then they move on to the next thing. And of course, like such is life. I just wish that patch was implemented sooner, if that makes sense.
Oh, they've made it. Oh, this is cool. I'm glad that they did this. They finally turned that into a cutscene like it needed to be.
Yeah, no, I totally get where you're coming from. Yeah, it was. I really wanted to love that boss fight, and again, I can't speak for everyone, but like that part, what you just talked about, definitely played into what kind of took away from the immersion of the moment. And it's like a lot of people experience horror differently. I guess I'm only talking about me here. Like most stuff I don't really get scared anymore because I've delved into so much horror stuff over the years. Like I'm pretty numb to most things. So I was one of the people running around and just completing things, throwing batteries here. It was very rare to get scared in chapter 4. I think that's a consensus for different reasons for a lot of people in this, but like I was literally only looking forward to what Harley was saying as I was going through it. So I made sure to stick around there, but like the boss battle in general was just basically run around, dodge the slowly activating bots, try not to get sandwiched like Tibbers.
No. You go away, you nerd.
Give you a hug. He just wants to give you a hug.
You have to ask for consent first.
He was trying to ask you if you wanted a hug.
No, ma'am.
The other way.
Oh, get off of me! I'm gonna go cry under my desk now. Bye-bye.
And get, hugged by a robot. But yeah, it was just put batteries there. I was just expecting more kind of like on the same par of like Catnap because Harley is just that much of an important character. So, I was hoping it was gonna be really epic and badass. I mean, it is, and it also isn't, but again, you were the highlight of it for me, so I wasn't too upset, but still very much upset.
Yeah, I completely understand that.
So spoiler alert, everybody. The Doctor does perish in this chapter. Do you think he could potentially still be alive? And before you answer, my theory is that yes, this man was smart. And after everyone was gone, especially with it being 2005, of course, I don't know how their infrastructure was set up, but just the year 2005 was actually a very important one for technology. This is actually when the very first cloud website was even introduced, or even the micro SD card was introduced as well. I just have this theory that he has somehow backed his consciousness up somewhere, and we could potentially still see him in the future, but I want to hear your thoughts.
It's funny because this ties back into the theory that my friend Blue Rivers on Twitter made. Because remember the line where Harley said that I feel like my brain's been split in two?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. So the theory that Blue made was essentially saying that, like, what if the side of the brain that we killed was the logical side, and the angry side, that visceral side of Sawyer, that's in another part or somewhere within Playtime Co. or whatever. Because we've always seen the Doctor be cold and calculated, and rarely we've seen him angry. And she just wonders if that way that while the logical side of the brain, is essentially kaput, that angry visceral side, her theory is that that's like the other part of the brain that is still there for Harley,
I kind of hope that's true, and I would love to see
Same.
that be a thing, because something else that just bothered me is, we destroy his lungs, we destroy what I think might be his liver, because it sure as hell wasn't his kidneys, but where are the rest of the vital organs? Maybe they're in the next chapter, and we have to destroy the other half of his brain along with those.
Interesting. And honestly, maybe those other parts the prototype has in his domain. Who knows?
Yeah, he uses them as leverage. He's like, don't piss me off, I swear I will unplug your heart.
There's actually one line I think you guys are both forgetting at the moment, and it's when you're actually in the process of destroying his organs, and he says, I can't quote it exactly.
Like
Shame on me for it's the part where he's talking. Yeah, he's talking about meat rots. It's replaceable as something. So my theory is that he can clone himself, or he's already done that. He has replacement organs on standby, because whatever the Bigger Bodies Initiative is, like, they've been making artificial organs like for a while now. So the fact that he's just so confident in saying, like, yeah, that you might have just destroyed my lungs, but I don't care. Like, keep going. Like, he's just there's no way he doesn't have a plan B going into this, considering he's got the prototype on his neck, he was betrayed by Leith Pierre, and now he's about to be killed by some random employee out for revenge. There's no way he didn't think of a plan B. I won't accept that.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's very true.
Gotta put some respect on the doctor's name.
Very true. I just hope that he was able to navigate, the prototype, because I know the prototype wouldn't let him have labs access. I hope some way, somehow, maybe he was able to finesse it.
I mean, Harley can be pretty convincing.
Very true. Very true.
I wanted to reference that that one VHS, but I wasn't sure if I'd have to like throw a spoiler out there for the viewers. It's like the pause now if you don't want to hear this. But like the conversation between him and the prototype, and he's like, this necessitates that it gets done fast. And then Harley's like, no, it takes time. It will not happen if we don't have time. And then, I was like, you know what, fine, sure, whatever. I'll find a way, but you're only alive until you're not useful anymore.
True.
So, Harley's got bargaining chips.
He definitely is.
If he can persuade the big bad prototype to leave him alive for, days, months, who knows what he could have negotiated.
He did have many pets.
That he did.
The Doctor's form in one of the trailers was one of the coolest reveals we've seen in the Poppy Playtime universe, but sadly, it really wasn't featured in the game. Do you wish it had been included?
Yes. Yes. Because, again, imagine if... Wait, actually, correct me if I'm wrong. Did the Doctor know about Safe Haven?
It's just, I would say that he would probably know about it. I mean, the prototype knows about its existence.
He knows about Doe, so I would say that's enough to go off of.
Because honestly, imagine if he kidnapped... I mean, because, he kidnapped... The Doctor kidnapped, Simon Smoke. He's like, oh, some creepy robot thing took Simon Smoke, and it sounded awfully like Harley Sawyer, and da-da-da-da, I really wish that we would have seen more of that body,
Same.
Would have been great.
And again, that is why the boss battle was a letdown for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's who I wanted to fight. It would have been cool to set things up with the little maze thing and finding the batteries and whatnot. But ultimately, as the last defense, his form would come out and we would have to fight him before we shut the brain down. That's what I was expecting going into that. And that all it was is we clicked a keyboard and took a card out and then boom, that's it. I was severely disappointed. There's so much that they could have done with that. Having his form stalk about the prison area as well, as you were saying, including his little robot minions too. He could have been in the control room or somewhere watching us as we are fighting the nightmare critters that he set loose on us. That would have been really cool to see instead of just random monitors that are in the background that sometimes will flash his eye. Because having looming threat.
A looming threat would have been so creepy.
So creepy.
Call back to that really cool concept art.
I remember when I saw the concept art. I saw it early. I was able to see it early. I believe even back after Chapter 3 released. Someone showed it to me. I was like, oh, this is cool. I hope we have that. I hope everyone from the previous chapters, except Catnap. Catnap can appear, but not in the way that we think. Not in the way we think, but I hope the DogDay, the Doctor, and whatever person is left alive, because Huggy. Never mind. I don't want to spoil that.
Everyone already knows Huggy's alive. It's okay.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just make sure. Yeah. Since Huggy's alive, I'm and again, we didn't see DogDay necessarily die per se, so because I'm just bring him back, please.
Exactly. And the amount of merch that they can make with that form would have been so cool. I know that SirSmirkz and I have both been wanting Culturefly to make figurines or statues. I would love a really cool statue of the Doctor's form. I just picture him sitting on a type of throne, like a Game of Thrones throne almost. I would love something like that.
Sitting on a bunch of broken servers.
That'd be great.
He's surrounded by the TVs with the eyes.
That'd be cold.
Actually,
cold.
I will say The one cool part, it's like, I don't think I noticed it the first time I went in there into the boss fight, but like when all the monitors kind of like in unison just show two giant eyeballs looking back at you, I was like, oh, okay, that's not creepy at all. That actually like set me back as well. I was really put off by that.
Yeah, it was. Whew, I just wish there was more. I wish there was more. I would love to see a Doctor statue.
Never know. Never know. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
In my most humble opinion for Chapter 4, the main villain of this chapter was the Doctor, even if Doe was being showcased as our final boss fight at the end. What are your thoughts, and who do you feel was the overarching antagonist to this specific story?
I know I'm going to be biased when I say this, but the Doctor, and here's the reason why. I say that he was a. There's been such a build up for him ever since 2022, ever since Project Playtime, been ever since Phase 1, Phase 2, Chapter 3, and then especially like with the build up of like the story so far. Because people are trying to figure out if it was Harley Sawyer or the prototype talking. Like it's either one of them or the other. And because I remember, because at the time I put like before I put the whole in my bio like voice of Harley Sawyer, voice of DogDay, and Mob asked me if I could take out the Harley portion out because they wanted to allude to the mystery. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. And I still say that it's Harley Sawyer only because of the buildup and the intentionality Mob did in order to make sure that like the reveal and even the execution paid off.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement with you. I know that a lot of people are like, Zoe's our main villain. They're our no. They are a momentary antagonist. They literally would not have been in the position that they're in if, by my assumption, because big spoilers if you don't know this already, Ollie is the prototype. I believe that when we were fixing the generator in the safe haven, we actually were sabotaging it, and that's what caused it to explode without us knowing. If that hadn't happened, Joey would not have reacted the way that he did, and we would not have had a boss fight against him. Like, I feel that overall, the overarching villain of this chapter was the Doctor. It just makes sense.
Yeah, no, I agree. I fully agree.
There's been a lot of amazing fan art, as we've mentioned a couple times now, but, especially after chapter released fully. But what has been your favorite piece you've seen so far?
Favorite piece? There's such, because I think I have like at least like Okay, I'm gonna just pick a few because I have a list. I actually have like multiple links of like at least, yeah, no, it's a lot of people. Lollipop Tears, when it came to their art, it's the one I forgot what there was a parody of it. It says like I've only had Yanabe for a day and a half, but if anything happened to him, I would kill everyone in this factory and then myself. And the one by Chloe's Imagination, because it had Harley Sawyer meet Springtrap from FNAF, and then because it's like, how do you control that creature? Talk about Yarnaby. My influence on my own creations is always temporary. And then Harley's like, oh well, it's quite simple. I just do this. And it's the head scritchies, and it's just like that. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? And it's just like that's it. And then I would say this one mad act on Twitter, because they actually gifted me art of Sawyer riding on Yarnaby as a horse, and it's just stellar. That, and what was it? Piloto. Pilotic _ raw on Twitter, they had Harley Sawyer in his robot form walking on a river of blood full of the critters and whatnot. I'm just like, yo, these are some talented people. And that's just like one out of many, because I even if I don't see or interact with every single, directly interact, like no response, everything through fan art, I always try to make sure that like I retweet at the very least, because again, this art is amazing,
It really
Absolutely.
is. I loved the little animation someone did, the Archer scene of Yarnaby coming up to the Doctor. I'm like, make me a grilled cheese. And then I think I saw you retweet it, and you were like, I might have to do this as a voiceover, and I really hope that you do.
I'm going to. I'm going to. because honestly, it's just gold. It's gold. Oh, I also have to shout out the Shiro 123 because they made a piece with Sawyer and Yarnaby, and again, it's just stellar. I need that. I need that blown up as like a picture, blow it up as a poster, blow it up, and just like put on my wall. It's like this is saucy. I love it.
That is so good. I'm looking at it now. And of course, everyone that's being mentioned, we will make sure that your art is linked in the description below. And I encourage everybody to go and follow these talented artists, because without these amazing artists, without the fans, we would not have such an amazing community as we do.
Truly. Also, I love someone named Devil underscore good 60910. They made one of like a Pokemon battle with Sawyer versus the player, and then he has Yarnaby as just like Sawyer, the rival, took on the challenge, and has like Yarnaby ready to bite. This just stellar stuff, man.
So speaking of the fan art and Yarnaby, something that we love that just kind of become headcanon now for everyone about the Doctor, while being annoyed with Yarnaby, they still, like, it's become headcanon that they still give them head pats and scritches and whatnot. And you yourself on Twitter have called Yarnaby your son. So is that something that you consider headcanon as well?
Yes, that is my son Yarnaby. He has no brain cells, but he has all the devotion and loyalty as man's best friend. Yes, I do consider that as a headcanon.
I think that's going to make everybody so happy to hear.
Yeah, because again, though Sawyer is a cruel bastard, you could still see that he has a lot of like there's some admiration for Yarnaby. He's like, do make this fun for me, because like when he said the lines like, do make this fun for me, like because in my mind I've seen because in my mind when Sawyer says that line, I imagine him basically the reason why he said this like, oh, I've seen Yarnaby devour a 300-pound man in one single bite. Let's see what you can do. That surprised me. Who knows? Maybe you'll kill him. Ha! My Yarnaby's built different. My creations are built different. It's something like that. I can see that.
A lot of fans were betting on Bigger Body Initiative DogDay coming back this chapter, but sadly he wasn't present. How would you have felt if DogDay was actually brought back in the future chapter?
If he was brought back in, oh my gosh, I'd feel so happy, because again, I feel like, because someone made like art, I forgot who specifically, but someone made art of the player carrying DogDay on their back, and I feel like now, since the prototype, what was the kid's name again? Not Elliot. Ollie, that's right. Since Ollie is found out as a prototype, I generally feel like someone that could help. And since the player is silent, I feel like one person that could be able to talk and everything could be DogDay and talk with the player and guide the player and everything and whatnot. Just be like, maybe after the how Safe Haven exploded, maybe something shifted within the upper levels of the factory, and then DogDay fell down through the ravine. I don't know, but I feel like that would be a great opportunity, because like again, they can't go through the whole game only silent or with only the player interacting with the talking prototype.
No, I agree. And I have been trying to start a movement. I want to voice the main character so badly. There is nothing more in this world that I want than to give that character life. And Mob, if you are listening, please just give me the opportunity. You will not be disappointed at all.
Give Tibbers the opportunity, please.
I say this as I sit with literally almost every piece of Poppy merch on my bed with puppy dog eyes. Speaking of future chapters, Chapter 5. If you're asked, even if it's a different role, would you come back?
Absolutely. I'd love to try a different role, or even like, say for example, if it's like a digital copy of Harley or DogDay or someone new, I'd love to come back.
There's so many things that just easy excuse to get Harley back in there. Whether it be a VHS tape character, Maybe Boxybu's a sophisticated individual and we just don't know, and he has voice lines that need portrayaling.
Listen. I'd love that. Listen, anything I can, again, because these characters are so dynamic and diverse, just being able to just voice these characters, I'd love that. Again, there are two special spots in my heart for Dog Day and the Doctor, but I'm more than willing to try out a new character if given the opportunity. Given the opportunity.
It's making me wish that we had more Dog Day. Quite honestly,
Yeah,
just the whole chapter with you just like guiding the player have been so cool. You know what, when you're talking about all the robots being not just in one place in chapter 4, it's like I would have loved to just have like a sarcastic Harley Sawyer like walking down the just the aisles of the jail cells, and he's just like he's so cocky, he's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna walk by the side of you and just taunt you and watch what you're doing the whole time.
that'd be hilarious. Just be like, so you finally found the VHS tape. Good. It's not like it was right there if you just would have turned your head to the left. Oh no, no, no! It was surely something difficult for you to find, player. Or if say for example, that'd be interesting. If the of course, like if Sawyer knew about Sawyer probably knew about Safe Haven. It'd just be like, you know. Yeah, it's a very nice place you have here. It'd be a shame if something burned it to a ground. And then someone's like, wait, the doctor, he's here. It's like, don't worry. I'm not going to destroy you just yet. I just need to see how much you've survived here. And then just like poking and prodding, like, so, do you remember who you were before you became a toy? It's like, I don't. Oh, I do. Your name was Gerald. You had a family. I don't know what happened to them, but I sure heard they don't miss you. Oh, well, farewell. Like, stuff like that. I don't know, just like being obnoxiously petty. Or even to Poppy, it's like, Poppy, and it's good to see that you have you're back in the family business, backstabbing and all. Oh, but I wouldn't know a thing about that. At least when people see me, at least I stab them in the front. Maybe you should take some notes. I don't know, something like that. I don't know. I just if Harley just being like a overly dramatic jerk, Of course he's evil, but it's just like he's like again like a giant cat playing with his food and everything.
Oh my god, I would have loved the moment where he's just trying to talk to like a little smiling critter, and they're just like having a panic attack because they know exactly who he is, and he's shaking. He's just like poking jokes at him.
Like I know you are. What was it called? A smiling critter, but I wonder how fast your heart is beating, how much blood is circulating through your body, throughout the stitches, fluff, and guts. I wonder how much fear you can take, little one. Like something like that. It'd be interesting. I hope it comes back in some way, shape, or form.
Me too.
Crossing fingers so hard already. Are there any upcoming projects or roles you're excited about that you'd like to share with the fans listening?
Not at the moment. I will say personally, I'm working on some projects that I know is going to take a while to make, but I pray when the time is right, I'll be able to talk about it more.
Sounds pretty solid.
Yeah, we look forward to hearing about what those projects are.
Thank you.
So lastly, I would like to bring another special guest in who would really like to have a conversation with you. Oh, Amber.
Hi, nerd.
Hi,
Amber.
Hi.
Hello, Amber.
Bye. Sorry, I'm good. Normal.
Hi, Amber. It's nice to meet you.
Hi. Oh my goodness. What the heck?
I did it again.
You did it again.
I sure did.
Oh my gosh. Oh, this is wild. Sorry, my brain is like all over the place.
Listen, it is all good.
Oh man. This is wild though. Okay, firstly, I want to say you slayed with the doctor and Dog Day. I've been meaning to reach out to you on that, but I've just been so shy because I'm like, I don't know if he's gonna know who I am.
Because you did artwork for Mob. Because you were in the Discord, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen. And again, like I always like I love interacting with people, and like again, like the art that you've done, like it's stellar. It's stellar, Amber.
Ooh, thank you.
Of course.
It means a lot.
Listen again, because listen, the one thing I've because I'm trying to get back into drawing myself, but it's been a very, very bumpy road. And like the people that can just draw, just like be able to say, "Oh, I think I have this idea," and just be able to make a masterpiece. I'm like, dang, y'all talented, y'all gifted, you know. So like, and again, like, art is powerful, and especially from the concept art I've seen, yeah, no, stellar work.
Thank you so
Of
much.
course.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, my mind is just reeling. I'm not
It's
gonna
all good.
lie. I'm not gonna lie. I did just wake up from a nap.
Oh, so this is absolutely surreal for you.
Yeah.
You're dreaming still. You're dreaming. Pinch yourself.
Oh, I'm dreaming.
It's a dream. That's actually not a dream. It's actually a test. Be sure to go talk to Yanabe real quick. I'm sure he'd love to talk to you.
I don't know if that little guy can even speak. I don't know if he has a brain cell to speak. Does he have a brain cell?
Oh, he has a brain cell. You just have to look directly right in front of him. I'm sure he'll be able to talk.
Oh, Yarnaby, what secrets do you hold as I hold your two-faced little head?
Just your armies goes beep.
Ah.
But yeah, Amber, I wanted to introduce you to Baldwin here. I know that you've done phenomenal artwork of the Doctor, and I know that you appreciated his character a whole lot. And you and I both have our own headcanons about them as well.
Mhm.
So I just
Yep.
wanted to bring this up.
Oh man. Well, mainly it was Robert Coe was the one that was doing a lot of the concept art for the Doctor.
Mhm.
I wish I could draw him more often. And I do plan on it actually, because I've been getting so many DMs from my friends saying how much they love the Doctor, and I'm like, all right, I gotta draw him at some point properly. But yeah, whenever I first heard your voice recordings of the Doctor, I was like jaw dropped. Oh man.
Thank you.
I showed my coworkers and I was like, this is gonna be the new Tumblr sexy man.
You were right.
Baldwin literally just said that earlier in the interview.
I literally said it, bruh. Because I've been seeing like the hashtags and even the TikTok thirst posts. Because like people's
How
like,
does it
oh,
feel? How does it feel?
surreal. Because from seeing Dog Day, then seeing the Doctor, I'm just like, dang. Like Dog Day, I guess the Doctor's a brain in a jar.
A brain in a jar with a lot of Doctor minions.
Yes, a lot of Doctor Minions. But thank you, Amber. I really appreciate you because like I was like telling Tibbers and Smirks, like I was just like I pray my performance is received well.
Oh my god. Yes, it was. And like what's funny was that I gotta make mention of this. I knew you before you were hired in at Mob whenever you were still making TikToks with all the cats, and I was like,
Really?
yes, I know about you on TikTok, and I was like, oh my god, this guy's really good. I love how like you monologue with the cats, and I'm just like, this is perfect.
My
Literally, it's
gosh.
perfect.
Perfect. I'm gonna
All right,
explode
Tibbers
you.
out.
No,
Get out.
Wow.
don't do that to me.
Wow.
Spray bottle.
Because I remember Amber, because like I think it was Micah that it was Micah that reached out to me because he saw the cat video on Twitter, and I was just like, because I remember I'll never forget when he asked me, would you like to voice our mysterious villain character? I'm like, yes.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh my god, it makes me so happy that you voiced such a big character, especially for chapter 4. Like, holy shit,
Yeah, no,
like
I'm
this is
I'm
huge.
sure. It's huge, bro. Because whenever I watch people play, I'm just like, dang, I'm in that video game. That's
That's you.
crazy.
That's you. And every single time that I play or replay the game and I go to the doctor sequence or whatnot, I always praise how well you've done to like my friends that I stream Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 to. It's like Baldwin did such a good job at this. Oh, hang on one second. My roommate's knocking on the door.
Their roommate is Maxitron. They're another concept artist over at Mob. They actually designed the Nightmare Critters and Doey.
Oh, wow, such talented people, man. Talented,
Okay, I'm
talented
back.
people.
I'm sorry. What's up?
No, you're good.
Now, I was just telling about Max,
Max, my roommate.
that goober.
E-
Oh, Amber, it's been fun because I'd always like hop into random streams and everything, and just seeing people's reactions like on camera.
Yeah.
It's hilarious because like I forgot to mention this earlier, because I went to Game Theory Live. I forgot the name of the host. The name, it escapes me. The name escapes me, but they host Game Theory and well, Game Theory Live.
I
Not
think I might know
Tom.
who you're talking about. I am lost out of names as well.
I know it. It's literally Ash. Ash. That's who it was.
Yeah.
Because I saw because like I was watching Ash play it, and when because I was like, you know what, let me see it. Like I know like the chat chat, it's busy, and I was like, you know, let me try and say hi. And I was like, hi there, my name is Baldwin, I voiced the Doctor Chapter 4, hope you're enjoying the game. And people saw it, and then they started like messaging Ash, and then I believe there's a gentleman that helps out Ash on the chat and everything, reads off, and they shouted me out. I'm just like, I've been shouted out on Game Theory. That's crazy. And then what was it? Jake Septiceye?
Jacksepticeye.
Jack Septiceye. Oof, I'm sorry.
You're good.
Because he played through chapter 4 and he was looking over the cast, and because like he shouted me and Michael Kovac is just like Baldwin's voice of the Doctor, like him and Michael, like y'all did great, like phenomenal job. I'm like, hey, we lit.
You
Oh
both did
my God.
amazing. Like your performances just knocked it out of the park. I think that's
Nah,
probably
for
one of my
real.
favorite things about this chapter was both of the performances from you both.
For real, for real. Like, oh my God. I'm so happy.
Oh man,
Speaking of Baldwin, are you going to be at MomoCon this year?
Oh.
man, it depends. Well, I'll say right now, most likely not. Only because of finances and like current situations I'm trying to work out through. I would love to if I'm able to. Yeah, I would love. Oh my gosh, I just remember because I went to MomoCon for the first time last year, and I remember I saw some. There were these two young people that cosplayed as Dog Day and Catnap, and I remember because when I saw it, I'm just like, that's definitely one of the characters I voice and everything. And I remember I was like, because I went over to them, I was like, hey, like I love your costumes. Can I take a picture? And everything, and they said sure. And then I took a photo. I'm like, thank you so much. Love your cosplays again. They're like, thank you. And then one of my friends, because I was hanging out with one of my friends, and they looked at me. It was like Baldwin. And I'm just like, yeah. It's like, did you tell them that you voiced Dog Day? I'm like, no. It's like, why? I'm like, I didn't want to seem like I was trying to seek for attention. It's like, no, you did a cool thing. You can talk about cool stuff that you've done. Go tell them. And I'm like, okay, fine. And I told them, and they were just so shook and just so warming, welcoming, And yeah, man, it's just been great. I hope that whenever I hope to see more people cosplaying as, you know, Dog Day or even the Doctor. If I see a Doctor cosplay, I'm gonna flip, bro. I'm like, bruh, I voiced you.
That's me.
Like, we meet again. Me?
Oh man. The reason why MomoCon was brought up was because me, Tibbers, and like a few other people are gonna be going to MomoCon for this year.
Okay. I can't make any promises. Let me see what I can do.
You're so good.
It'll be a fun
Oh,
time.
man.
I'm still trying to convince SirSmirkz over here to come.
Grab Smirks by the throat. Join.
What are you? I'm sick. Leave me alone.
Join.
Oh my
We have
goodness.
so many friends. Join.
Join us. One of us.
One
This is
of us.
good.
One of us.
Oh,
But yeah, thank you, Baldwin, for sitting down with SirSmirkz and I and Amber to chat today. We really appreciate it. Can you let everyone know on the internet where they can find you?
And yeah, again, thank you both for having me. Everyone can find me on social media everywhere at Baldwin Voices. I also have my voiceover website, baldwinvoices.com. And yeah, thank you so much again.
And SirSmirkz, where can they find you?
Man, I always just give you such a rough time with this question, don't I?
Yeah, you really do, and I'm gonna punch you out of the window.
YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all that fun stuff. I'm never calling it X. Absolute pleasure to meet you, Baldwin, and a incredible opportunity. I never thought I was going to be able to do any of this stuff, but Tibbers is just such an awesome person and friend. I could not be more thankful to be here. So, yeah. Was that better?
You didn't say what your username is.
SirSmirkz everywhere. There you go.
Thank you. And Amber, since you're here, where can they find you?
Me? Everywhere. I am Amberluvsbugs, Luvs, no spaces, everywhere. Just search me up on Google and you'll find me.
Well, thank you all so much, and I appreciate all the listeners out there. We will catch you in the next one, because trust me, this next interview you're not going to want to miss. Bye-bye.